yogis. So I've just come back from a nice long walk and I fancy a stretch. So I'm hoping that you're going to join me in our stretch. I'm working with two cameras at the moment, so I'm not looking at you, I'm looking at the camera. I'm just trying to see if I can get better quality videos for you. Let's get started by just coming onto all fours. So bring the knees underneath the hips and the hands underneath the shoulders. And let's tuck our toes this time, so we'll have a nice little stretch in the Achilles. On the inhale, lift the gaze up and lift the buttocks up. And on the exhale, rounding the back. And oh, that feels nice after that walk. So just really working into the spine. And rounding and lifting up. Let's do two more. Inhale up, buttocks up. Exhale, rounding. Draw the navel in as you round the spine. And this is the last one. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, rounding and drawing in. And then we're just going to lay down on our backs. Just lay down on our backs. Hands down by the side of the body. Knees together, feet together. And inhale the arms all the way up. Really nice stretch in that torso. And exhale down. And we know if the hands don't reach all the way behind to the floor, just take them wider. Or pop a cushion underneath those hands. So it doesn't really have to meet the floor, just stretching up into the torso, into the armpits. And let's do one more. Inhale, lift up. And a nice big stretch. And then bring those hands down by the side of the body. Take your right knee into your chest. And now hold on to the back of that right thigh and stretch the leg up. Nice, easy breathing. Some of you may want to take hold of the toe. Some of you may just want to stay here. Nice, easy breathing, whichever feels appropriate to you. And then bring that knee into the chest and place a foot flat down. Opposite knee comes in, hands behind the knee, and we stretch up. And again, some of you may want to hold on to that toe. You can always have a belt as well if you feel that you need a little bit more longer arms. And then we'll draw both knees into the chest and rock and roll. Do that one more time. So feet flat onto the mat. Hands behind the right thigh. Lift and stretch. And again, if you want to, hold on to the toe. Remember that belt or an old sock, anything you can use to give your arms a little bit more length. And then bring that foot back down again. Draw the knee in, behind the back of the thigh, stretch up. And again, if you want to, hold on to that toe. And then release. Arms nice and wide. Bring the knees over the chest. And then hover to the right with the knees. So don't land, just hover. Back to the center. And hover to the left. And again, back to the center. Hover to the right. Back to the center. And hover to the left. And then bring both knees into the chest and rock and roll. And then cross your ankles. And maybe reach down for your feet and just draw in a little bit more. Nice, easy breathing. Some of you may just have your ankles crossed. Some of you may have your hands on your toes and draw in. And then we release the feet down to the mat. Then roll over and come into a seated position. And remember, this is just stretching, it's just opening up the body. So bring your arms all the way up and into a prayer at the top. And then exhale the prayer all the way down. Inhale all the way up. And exhale all the way down. Let's do two more. Inhale lifts you up into prayer. Exhale down. Inhale lifting you up. And exhale down. Have the legs nice and long now, and point the toes towards you. So having those toes pointing towards you, really engaging the leg muscles, the spine is long. Pick up the right leg behind and just lengthen. Draw in and lengthen. Draw in and lengthen. Draw in and lengthen. Let's do one more. Draw in and lengthen. And then feet flat, nice straight backs. Opposite leg, draw it in and lengthen. Draw it in and lengthen. Draw it in and lengthen. And then just one more. Draw it in and lengthen. And then feet flat back onto the mat. If it suits you, cross-legged again, or long legs. And move into the shoulders. Interlock your fingers and turn the palms away. Inhale the arms all the way up. And exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. And one more. Inhale lifts you up. And exhale down. And take your arms out in front of you. And pop the thumb into the palm of your hand. The thumb into the palm of the hand. And then just start to flick your fingers. So the arms stay straight. So the shoulder, elbow and wrist are in line. The thumb is inside the palm and we're flicking the fingers. Now if you look at your forearms, you'll see the muscles that you're working there. And I'm guessing right about now you're thinking, well, when is she going to tell me to stop? So just keep going for a couple of more rhythms. You can do them slow or you can do them fast, whichever you want. And let's really get into those forearms and into the wrists, and then release. Lift the shoulders up and soften them down. Take the arms out in front again and clench your fist. Now just rotate the fist outwards and then rotate them inwards. Rotate them outwards and then rotate them inwards. And then bring your hands onto your knees or your thighs. Lift the shoulders up. Don't drop them heavy, just drop them soft. And again, lift the shoulders up and drop them soft. Take your arms into angel arms. Take an inhale and exhale. Draw the elbows together. Inhale, open, expand the chest. Draw the shoulder blades together. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. And exhale, close. One more. Inhale, open, expand the chest. And exhale, close. And then release the hands to the mat or to your knees. Change the position of your legs if they're crossed. Straight legs is appropriate as well. I'm going to take the right arm all the way up and stretch over. Just a nice long stretch. And come all the way back to the center. Take the opposite arm up and stretch. And then slowly come back to the center. Either straight legs or long legs. Take the arms behind you and draw the hands down towards the earth as you straighten the spine. And then if it feels appropriate, lift the arms up and exhale down. Keep the spine long. Inhale up and exhale down. One more. Inhale, lift up and exhale down. Take your arms long in front of you, right arm over left, give yourself a nice warm hug. We're having to hug in this manner all the time now due to this COVID. So we get used to hugging ourselves as well as pretend hugs to everybody else. Long arms, left over right, and hug. So sometimes we're on our own so many hours, and sometimes it's just nice to give ourselves a hug. And then we release down. So we're going to now take the legs nice and long. I'm going to draw the heel in and drop the knee open. Now, if the knee feels it's quite vulnerable in this position, you can pop a cushion underneath it, or you can just throw it out of the equation completely. So just check out how you're feeling. You want to have a nice straight back. Going to inhale the arms all the way up, lengthen up. And on the exhale, we'll reach forward. Inhale lifts you up. And exhale, reaching forward. This foot is nicely flexed to really get into the calf muscles and the hamstrings. Exhale. One more inhale lifts you up. And exhale. And then inhale lifts you up again. And exhale down. So we're going to change legs. Draw it in. Let it drop open that knee. And again, options, cushions here. Or throw the leg out. Only you know what your knees are like. And again, inhale lifts you up, lengthening through the torso. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lengthen. And let's do one more. Inhale lifts you up. And exhale, lengthen. And then inhale all the way up. Bring that knee back in. Nice long legs. Separate the legs now. And flex the feet. We're going to feel a nice long stretch in the back of the hamstrings, in the calf, and now also in the inner thigh. But we're also going to take this into the abdominal. So interlock your fingers and take your palms interlocked forward. Take an inhale and an exhale. On the inhale, lean back, and on the exhale, coming forward over the toes and then over the other toes. Inhale back, exhale over, inhale back, exhale over, and then let's just keep what we call, this is called churning the mill. So it's into the hips, the hamstrings, the Achilles, into the abdominals. And if you find that you have got tight hamstrings, this is an easy movement to get into forward bends when you have tight hamstrings. We're just going to two more on this way, and then we'll relax. Straight back, lengthen, and we're just going to go same movement, opposite direction. So coming all the way round in the opposite direction, leaning back on the inhale, exhaling forward, churning the mill. We're getting into the abdominals, getting into the hips, getting into the legs, smiling, enjoying. This is better than watching TV. It really is. I love those box sets, but this is much better for the moment. And then we'll come back. Bring the feet together. I'm going to take a back bend, so fingertips point to your buttocks. And we're going to lift up the heart. Really lift up the heart. And then come back to neutral. Lift up the heart. And come back to neutral. And again, lift up the heart. And back to neutral. Let's lay on our tummies. So you notice I haven't even brought a yoga mat with me. Just a mat, a carpet, anything. We're only stretching. We're just enjoying this stretch, I hope. So you're going to have your elbows underneath your shoulders. You're going to lift up your chest and have a nice little back bend here. If it's too intense in the spine, just bring your forehead down. And just check out how you're feeling. Going to have this nice little back bend. We're tending to sit a lot nowadays, I'm sure, more than we used to. So back bends are important in your fitness program at home. So we're going to now, I'm going to come to my side to show you a little bit better. We're going to take our right arm and place it quite close to our body. Parallel. I'm going to lift up. And then with the left hand, we're going to reach behind and grab hold of that foot. I'm going to lift up through the front and draw the heel back. Now, obviously, sometimes this might not happen for you. You might not be able to grab hold of the foot, so hopefully you've got an old tie or a belt handy. You'll just loop it round there and just draw that heel towards the buttock. Just a nice quad stretch after your walk. And then we'll change sides. So the left arm comes in and we reach behind and we lift up at the front and draw the heel in at the back. Either the belt is around the foot or your hand is around the foot. Nice, easy breathing. And then slowly come back to the center. I'm going to do that one more time. So right arm in front. Now the closer this arm comes into the body, the more opportunity you have of finding that left leg. So lift up at the front and draw in at the back. You'll feel this in the abdominals a little bit as well, which is nice. And then change sides. Lift up at the front, draw in at the back. And then release. Bring your hand underneath your forehead. Options to stay here. Or slide one arm that way and one arm that way. It's called pretzel. And then just bow. And then change sides, either stay here, or one arm that way, and one. And then release, hands underneath the shoulders, take these elbows into the ribs. See what happens when your shoulders move back? You have to have the elbows into the ribs for this to happen. And then we'll rise up through that cobra. Feel the stretch in the belly, feel the back bend onto the knees. Walk the knees in, buttocks down. Hands can be underneath the forehead. Hands can be long. And then very slowly we'll come onto our backs, laying on our backs where we began. Just moving into the hips a little bit. Take the right leg up, cross the ankle over the opposite knee. Options to stay here, great posture, or through that space you've created round the back of the left thigh, draw in, and then stretch that left leg up. Couple more breaths. And then release that foot down. And again, the opposite leg. Just stay here if that feels good. Or through the space you've created round the back of the right thigh and stretch the leg up. And then both knees into the chest, little roll around. This time place your feet flat onto the mat. Stretch your left leg long. Draw your right knee into your chest with both hands. And then with the left hand, drag it across the body. Try to keep your right shoulder down if it's appropriate. Nice, easy breathing. Gaze to the right fingers. And then draw back both knees into the chest, rock and roll. Feet flat onto the mat, we take the right leg long, draw the left knee in, hold on to it with the right hand and we drag it across the body again and we gaze to the left. And then slowly come back to the center, both knees into the chest and rock and roll. So feet flat onto the mat. So I'm hoping you've stretched any tensions that you may have in the body out. Just going to relax now in Shavasana. Let the legs be nice and wide apart. Let the arms be outstretched with the palms facing to the ceiling. And then the following affirmation. Just repeat it after I have said it. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be peaceful. May I be healthy. And may I be happy. So bringing your feet flat to the mat, you can stay here for as long as you like. Roll over to the right. We're coming up into a comfortable seated position. So thank you very much for joining me for stretch. There'll be lots more stretching videos coming on board. And I hope you can join me for those as well, along with the Hatha and maybe a little bit of Ashtanga Sun Salutations is going to be coming online as well. Have fun, stay healthy, namaste.